Hey everyone, this week's video I hope is very helpful. I'm going to talk to you about different communication techniques, how to use them, and when to use them. So stay tuned. So like I said, this week's video topic is communication techniques. And a lot of therapists would probably argue with me, but I don't like to tell my clients, you have to do one, and then you do number two, and then you do number... Nobody thinks like that, right? So the techniques I'm going to give you are things that you can use across all different types of communication struggles. And the first thing that I want you to do is to assess who you're talking to. Is it people at work? Is it family? Are they your friends? Is it your spouse? Is it your boyfriend or girlfriend? Who is it? And how do they normally communicate with you? To that end, I mean, do they always talk over you? Are you like, hey mom, I want... They get louder and louder until you are quiet because you're never going to get your point across? Do they pretend nothing's wrong? Are they like, oh, no, that's not really a problem. I don't know what you're talking about. And they pretend that nothing's happened. Are they really quiet and they won't even respond? Are they like passive? Like, yeah, okay, whatever you say, uh-huh. And they want to do something else, change the subject. What kind of a communicator are they? And based on that information, we can use a couple different techniques. Now, the two instances that I want to talk about today are communicating in a crisis and communicating difficult or bad information. Like I hear from many of you, I want to tell my friend, I want to tell my family about my eating disorder and my self-harm. How do I do it? What do I do? Okay? So those are the two scenarios. The first, when we're in a crisis. And the hardest thing to do in a crisis is what I'm going to ask you to do. And that is to simplify it. Tell them only the facts, tell them what you need from them, and tell them why. That's it. Now I know you're like, that's never going to happen, but what do? We have to prepare for our crises, because we all know that every once in a while we'll have a crisis and we need to be prepared for that. So what I would challenge you to do right now is to write down on a piece of paper, if I had a crisis, let's say I had to go into inpatient, what would I want to tell them? What do I need from them, right? Make your bullet points and fill it out and start thinking about it, because the thing that's really tricky in a crisis is people get all caught up in the details. But really, what they really need to know is what's going on with us. So let's say it's me and I have to tell Sean that I'm going into inpatient. So I need to tell Sean, I have binge eating disorder and I have to go to treatment. I'm going to be there for a couple of months, and I need you to make sure that our bills are paid and that you can come for the family weekend, right? And all I ask of you is just to listen and be supportive as much as you can. Now I know I'm making it sound really simple, and you're like, Katie, that's the hardest thing that I could ever do. But if we've prepared and we kind of know, we can even read off of our notes what we need from them, what's happening, stuff like that. Because a lot of times if we talk more, we lose them, right? And they'll get caught up in something else and they'll have more questions, and before we know it, we've talked for hours and we never got our point across, right? So that's number one, the crisis. Now number two is what to do when we have to explain something that's really difficult or bad, right? Like, I self-harm, I have an eating disorder, I attempted suicide and I need your help, I have really intense anxiety and I can't sleep and it's affecting my work or whatever. How do we express that? The first thing we have to do again is we have to prepare. And I know it's annoying and I know it seems like it's not worth it, but trust me, if you are going to express yourself to someone, the fact that you prepared before, even if it's just bullet points, will mean that you communicate so much more clearly and you actually get to say what you meant. And that can feel so much better. Then we actually feel like we've done what we wanted to do. Versus, I'm sure many of you, I've done this all the time. You go into a situation and then I come out being like, I didn't say anything I wanted to say. They don't even know how I feel. That was the whole point of us getting together. Now I have to try to plan again and get anxious all again just to meet up with them to try to do it again, right? So if we prepare, then we can stop that from happening. So please prepare. Again, if we're going to tell someone about our struggles, we need to be the least amount of details as possible. What are we struggling with? How long have we been struggling? What are we doing about it? And what do we need from them? 4 things. And the reason that I talk about those 4 is because that tends to be when parents come into my office, that's what they want to know. What is it? How long? What are we going to do about it? And what do they need from me? Okay? So start thinking along those lines. And I can give you some ideas of how to open the conversation, because that's usually the hardest, and that's what my clients struggle with the most. And the first thing that I always tell them to do is just to make sure it's not a stressful time. If you have any control over that, make sure that it's not stressful for you, like it's not over dinner if you have an eating disorder and that's already stressful. Make sure it's not when all of your family's around and that it doesn't really happen, like Christmas time or something that's really stressful. Try to make it as regular of a night as possible, like you and your mom and your dad and your sister are sitting down to watch your favorite reality TV show or whatever. And then you open up with saying, hey guys, I have something really quick that I want to talk to you about. If that's okay, can I turn off the TV? That's a good open. Or if you have a parent that you're closer with, hey mom, do you think tomorrow we could grab coffee together and I just have something I want to talk to you about. Nothing to worry about, but I just have something I want to talk to you about. Okay, and we're kind of setting things up. And I always do that. Nothing you have to worry about because we're not in a crisis, right? We're just trying to express what's going on, how long it's been going on, what our plans are, and what we need from them. Okay? And once we know those things, we can really communicate them. Okay? So take some time this week, maybe on Wednesday. Give yourself 30 minutes and work on 1 or 2 of those points, right? Whether you're in a crisis, we might not have as much time, but we're going to prepare ahead, right? So take the time, prepare, and share what's helped you. If you've expressed it, if you've talked to your friends and family, let me know how it went, how you did it, what was best. Maybe if you had a bad experience, what didn't work? What did you try and it was really, tricky and it ended up not going well? Let us know so we can help one another, right? Because we're working together towards a healthy mind and a healthy body. So before I forget, I've been trying to get in contact with other people and do more collaborations. So if there's someone that you'd really like me to collaborate with, shoot them a message and shoot me a message. And so I can start that conversation and hopefully we can make it happen, right? Our YouTube community is still pretty small. And don't forget to check out my website. I have a free workbook and I will have more coming out and you don't want to miss it. And there's also forums and things like that. I'm on Twitter at Katie Morton. I am on Instagram at Katie Morton1. I am on Tumblr. I am on Facebook. I'm all over. So don't forget to find me and follow and let me know and ask your questions because I do Q&As 5 days a week. And under forums on my website, there's a Q&A, Katie Q&A. So make sure to ask your questions there and I'll get them answered. Is that good? Okay. For some reason, I feel like, are we conducting planes? It's like the people who, when the lights are broken, and they're like, and you're like, stop! No, you stop! As if you're gonna run into the man with the white gloves. It's gotta be, he's like in trouble, and that's his paybacks to direct traffic. Okay.
Hey everyone, this week's video I hope is very helpful, and that is communicate. Start over. That was bad. You know when you really, I was just chewing on the words, it was bad.